It is very important to place the reed on the mouthpiece correctly. If it is not placed correctly, it could cause poor tone quality or make it very difficult to play the saxophone. Watch as Eric places his reed on the mouthpiece correctly. Then we will do this together. We will start with just the mouthpiece and neck. First, he will put the ligature around the mouthpiece to avoid chipping the reed with the ligature. The screws should extend to the right as you look at the flat side of the mouthpiece. For some ligatures, the screws will be on the bottom of the mouthpiece, and for some ligatures, they will be on the top. In either case, the screws will always face to the right. He then slides the ligature up just a little with his thumb and fingers to create space between the ligature and the flat part of the mouthpiece. Next, he slides the reed between the mouthpiece and the ligature, placing the flat part of the reed on the flat part of the mouthpiece. The reed should be exactly centered left to right and should be straight up and down. The tip of the reed should be almost even with the tip of the mouthpiece, so that only a tiny bit of the mouthpiece extends beyond the reed. Even the slightest misplacement can make it difficult to play the saxophone. Next, he lowers the ligature just below the line on the mouthpiece so it loosely holds the reed in place. Before tightening the screws, he will fine-tune the placement of the reed, making sure the reed didn't move when he moved the ligature. Once it is set correctly, he gently tightens the ligature screws so that the reed does not move around on the mouthpiece. Now let's put your reed on with Eric. First, put the ligature around the mouthpiece so the screws extend to the right as you look at the flat side of the mouthpiece. Then slide the ligature up just a little with your thumb and fingers to create space between the ligature and the flat part of the mouthpiece. Next, slide the reed between the mouthpiece and the ligature, placing the flat part of the reed on the flat part of the mouthpiece. If it doesn't fit, you may need to loosen the screws on the ligature or slide your ligature up a little more. Now adjust the reed so it is exactly centered left to right and straight up and down. Notice that Eric is being careful to not touch the tip of the reed. Make sure the tip of the reed is almost even with the tip of the mouthpiece so that only a little bit of the mouthpiece extends beyond the reed. Next, lower the ligature just below the line on the mouthpiece so it loosely holds the reed in place. Before tightening the screws, fine-tune the placement of the reed. Your reed should be perfectly centered on the mouthpiece every time. Once it is set correctly, gently tighten the ligature screws so that the reed does not move around on the mouthpiece. Having good reeds and placing them on the mouthpiece correctly is critical in producing a good saxophone sound. Again, the more times you practice this, the faster you will get, but always focus on these essential elements of reed placement. Be careful with the tips of your reeds. Avoid playing with a chipped or broken reed. Place the ligature on the mouthpiece first with the screws facing to the right. Make sure to perfectly center the reed. The reed should be slightly below the tip of the mouthpiece. Be sure the ligature is just below the line on the mouthpiece. Tighten the screws to secure the reed. Placing the reed properly on your mouthpiece is an important step in playing your saxophone.